Hello guys, welcome back to a second video on the London trading channel for the day. And this is going to be some in-depth stock analysis on AutoDesk, ticker ADSK. Reason for this is, well, as the market's been bouncing up today, it is up 4%. It is one we covered in the Discord, covered in the newsletter. If you're not already subscribed to that, it's in the description. And we may have made an analysis video on YouTube, I can't remember on that one. But when it came into this 445 kind of 250 area, that's when we were looking to get long, because we would have seen it gap down, kind of gapped into the second deviation. But when you see that, we expect gaps to continue. If they gap more than 3%, we expect it to continue gapping or continuing down on the day. So seeing that, we didn't really buy anything coming into the 258, 260 level. We instead waited for it to continue that bit down lower, down into the 250 level, as that's a big psychological level, and then got in a bit more as it came into the third deviations. They have kind of slightly moved from the time being, but that was roughly where the third deviations were about a week ago when we opened the trade. But we are starting to see this bounce, and the reason we're doing analysis on this instead of some other stocks is that AutoDesk is one of those stocks where we're seeing an uptrend on both the daily and the 4 hour, and that is always something great to see when you're looking to go long on stocks, which is something like AutoDesk, which we're looking to get long on now. So for right now, it is coming into the first deviation. So when we see this, you always have to be a bit hesitant, because if a stock's going to continue down, this is most likely where it will come to before continuing that downward move. So we could always see some selling pressure coming in now, and that's why the market's open tomorrow. If you're watching the small account challenge, you'll know we're holding quite a bit of AutoDesk. I think we're up around 8% on it right now. We may take out about 25% of the profit just because we're into that target now. But we will be looking to lock in the majority of the profit, and if you aren't long now, looking to get long now, the where we'll be looking to lock in the majority, if not all of the profit, would be kind of this 299 / kind of $300 level. Reason for that is, firstly, you got the massive psychological resistance at $300, so we would expect selling pressure no matter what. And then you're also coming in statistical mean on both the 4 hour and the daily at the same level. Firstly, when the deviations line up on both charts, they tend to be even more effective, so we would definitely expect a large pullback coming into that level. Not only that, statistical mean, once stocks come into statistical means, we then no longer have an idea of which direction they're going to go. Because, for example, if we're down here like we were before, near the third deviation on AutoDesk, then we know more likely than not it's going to bounce. We would expect it to go up and at least push towards that statistical mean. However, if you're already at the statistical mean, you have no direction. It could easily go up, it could easily go down, and that's why we always lock in our profits coming into statistical mean, because then we're just taking no unnecessary risk. We can lock in the money, walk away with our money, and then we're in the trade as well, not for a really a long amount of time. So if we can kind of optimize the amount of time we're in with our gains, we can then go and find another trade that's kind of into our second, third, or even first deviation, and then take that long or short, depending on what side it is, and then we can still make just good gains, but without the excessive risk. So yeah, those are kind of the key levels to be looking at now. We're going to probably have some resistance, as we kind of saw today. It's where the move on the day ended. If we quickly go on to a 5-day 1 minute, you can see we kind of pushed up to this 278.50, and then we kind of just sold off and then kind of kept in this 275 level for the rest of the day. Not really a coincidence. You expect to see that when the stock was continuing up, because yeah, you got that kind of just resistance at that first deviation. So yeah, we would expect some selling pressure there. However, we would expect it kind of continue through, especially if the overall market's going to continue up. We would expect auto just to kind of break through this and push to that $300 level, where we would be looking to get out of this trade. One other thing to be noting is, obviously we did talk about the gap at the beginning of the video. The gap fill will be at 303, but you'll see that is obviously very close. I mean, it's only an extra 1%. If you're looking in at the 300, and this is why I didn't go through the gap fills first like I usually do, just because the statistical mean, it's 1% less of a target, but this is most likely where the bounce will happen. We would expect the gap to get filled at some point, but we would expect a heavy pullback at $300, probably to 290, or maybe even back down to 280. So it's just one of those things. As well, actually, we do have a gap fill here, as you can see, at 283. we may actually get some resistance coming into this level, but I would be using it more as a target if we kind of break through this level. I'd expect us to hit this $300 level, and this could be where we pull back to. And so that's one of the main reasons we're not even going to wait for that 303 kind of slash 304 target for the gap fill, and instead lock them in at $300, just because, again, reduce risks that we don't need to be taking. But looking at AutoDesk, that is the main kind of overview on it. One thing to be looking at though is on the 4 hour, we are starting to see it nearly become overbought on the RSI. Shouldn't have too much effect. We would expect it to still hit that $300 target, but it's always something to take into consideration, just because some investors, when they see, or more traders, if they see it coming into the oversold area, they may start looking to sell. So you may just see the movement happen a lot slower once it comes oversold. Obviously, the last 2 days we've done a massive amount of movement. I mean, we opened at 260. Today we closed at 270. So I mean, that's about 6.5% move just in 2 days. So we would expect it to cool off a bit as well. And as RSI is about to become oversold, this 280 level could be that level where we just get a small cool off before continuing higher. But that's the overall kind of breakdown on AutoDesk. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you see you in the next one, and that's it. Peace.